Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matt here for the Matt Film Show. If you guys are new here, make sure you thumbs up, subscribe if you guys like. Let's get right in today's video. And today, I'm gonna be giving you guys my review for Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. It's not The Scavenger. I know when I did my trailer review for this movie, I said it was The Scavenger. I totally missed worded the title. It's Scargiver. Okay, this movie is written and directed by Zack Snyder, which if you're a fan of DC or know DC, you might know who Zack Snyder is. He is the guy who was responsible for Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, I know there's a different Snyder Justice League cut. They came out 2017. They came out theirs. I pretend that does not exist. The definitive Justice League movie is Zack Snyder's Justice League that came out in 2021 on Max. Okay, so that's what I just said. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, and I so Rebel Moon, right? Which was called Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, I think, which released on Netflix last year, and then this year, obviously, it's still on Netflix. I do not understand why they released it back to back. Like, I, um, I think this is like a two movie split in half, I think, or the sequel or something like that. But anyways, I kind of feel like they should have left a couple years off for this one. Kind of feel like it was too soon for the sequel. But anyway, I I enjoyed Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon was Zack Snyder's version of Star Wars. I kind of saw that, and I enjoyed for the most part Rebel Moon. It was not a movie that I loved, right, or talked about a lot. It was kind of like those movies that I watched, I enjoyed it, but forgot it. So I kind of felt like it was too soon for a sequel, right? A couple months after the movie came out. Um, but um, anyway, I'm gonna give you guys the premise and my overall thoughts on the movie. So the premise is Korra and the crew of warriors ventures to help the farmers to defend for to and fight for their home against the mother world. Um, the movie part two is better than the first part or the first movie. It's slightly better, not by much, but it's a little bit better. I enjoyed it more than how I enjoyed the part one. There's great character development, character investing in these characters are are really great. That you get into watching this movie, you invest in these characters, you really enjoy these characters. Um, I so enjoy the action sequence, the fight sequences, the slow mos. Zack Snyder is the king of doing the slow mos, in the part one and also part two. This one, and just the action sequence and all that. I really enjoyed that from the movie. Zack Snyder is really great at delivering on that. The special effects are great. I think Zack Snyder delivers great special effects in his movies, but I think that the story was the weaker part of this movie. Um, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they could have pushed it back a couple more years um, to develop part two, right? But at the most part, I did enjoy it and I did have a great time. Somewhat of a great time with this one. Um, it was more focused on Kosihif and, like I said, character driven. Like I said, um, it made telling the story that felt that part one was insignificant, right? Sorry, I mispronounced that name. Um, but the um, the planets, the worlds, were very very cool to see. Um, what's the actor's name? Um, there's the guy from Guardians is in this. Um, anyway, um, he was great in this one as well. Um, Here he is. Digimon Hugh-son. I'm sorry I'm pronouncing that. Anyways, I really like him as an actor. Obviously, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. And the first one, it says, "Who are you? Star-Lord." Who? Star-Lord, remember? Anyways, he's in this. And obviously, he was in part one, also in part two. And he's just he did a great job in this one, like he does in his other roles. Such a talented actor. So I really enjoy him being on screen with them. The planets were very, very intriguing. That when they went to the planets, um, just the character of um the main character of the girl, what's her name? Cora. Cora. There you go. Cora um was more developed here, and I appreciate her even more in this movie than how it did in part one. I think she had more to do in this one, and I enjoyed her more than I enjoyed, you know what I mean, in part one. Apparently there's gonna be like a director's cut for this. I do not know why Zack Snyder always does this, where there's always a director's cut, right? And I think it's gonna be for the part one, a rated R cut. I just do not understand why they do this. If they're gonna make a movie, you know what I mean, I think that they should just make the movie how they plan on making it, not or if you're gonna make this movie rated R, he should have done that from the beginning. You know what I mean? So I just don't understand um, um, why there's gonna be like a R-rated version of part one coming to Netflix. I think this year. So I don't know. I might not watch it. I might not. I don't know. Might be slightly better than part one, but I just don't understand why he does that. Anthony Hopkins is also in this. He does great. Obviously, he played Odin in the Thor MCU, Thor franchise. And there were, like I said, the characters were character driven. The characters were more developed, which I also enjoyed. Um, the lightsaber battles, or they're not lightsabers, but you guys know what I mean. There's like a red one, a blue one, kind of reminiscence to Star Wars. Like I said, this is Zack Snyder's version of Star Wars, and so there's that kind of references to Star Wars with the red blade and the blue blade, right? The Sith and the Jedi, right? In Star Wars. So there's still Star Wars references, which was really great to see because, you know what I mean? I kind of would have liked for Zack Snyder to do his version of Star Wars. What would have been, right? What happens if we would have gotten Zack Snyder's version of Star Wars, right? Obviously, Rebel Moon, right? But wanted to see his version, and obviously, for some weird reason, Disney said no, right? Disney Lucasfilm said no to him. So, kind of missed opportunity there, I think. Why would you not want to work with Zack Snyder? I think he's proven that he is able to tell great story-driven movies, great character development he does in his movies, and puts a lot of effort in his work. And like I said, no, this is not about DC, but he has been mistreated at DC because he had a lot of potential there, a lot of creative decisions that he wanted to do, his vision for Justice League Part 2 and Part 3 that he didn't get to do, and which kind of sucks, sad to see that he didn't get his potential. This is how I talk about how Henry Cavill never got his potential to become Superman or to be definitive Superman because they never gave him the opportunity. Anyways, um, you don't, you even need to remember to watch this movie to the first one to understand it. Like you could go into this and understand it right away without even watching the first one, which I thought was kind of great to see. Uh, uh, but anyways, the slow motion, like I said, I know talking about works very, very well. And the slow motion part of this movie was the best part of of this movie. Because like I said, Zack Snyder knows how to do slow motion um, in his movies, man. And he's the king of that. And so I really appreciated that because those were the fight scenes, and also there were intense fight scenes. I loved the slow mos. I loved the fight scenes of this. Intense like saber fight scenes that were very, very intense, very enjoyable to watch, right? Um, and I think that this was a far better definitive version of Rebel Moon. I think Rebel Moon Part 2 was way better than Part 1. Um, but I just feel like they could have taken their time on it, right? I think he should have taken his time more, maybe 2 years off, not back to back. Um, but majority of it, for overall, I did enjoy this movie for what it was. Um, like I said, I enjoyed the characters even more than I was investing in these characters more than how I invested in part one. Um, the world is so cool. The planets that they visit were fun and to see. Um, but overall, I did enjoy this movie. I had a fun time with this one. Um, I know there's going to be a part three, most likely coming out next year, in 2025. I just hope that they do, like I said, they did a better job here. I think they should do a way better job in part three. And so I'm just looking forward to what Zack Snyder has planned to do and in part three of Rebel Moon. But this movie is streaming only on Netflix. Make sure you go check it out. If you haven't, we'll check out part one. I know part one wasn't well received. I did not enjoy as much, even though I was excited when I saw the trailer. Interesting, that concept. But to me, I enjoyed the second one, part two, way much better. And I thought I had a fun time with it. So yeah, if you guys indicate, make sure to thumbs up, subscribe if you guys like. Thank you guys for watching this video. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.